Waiver wire week 10. Week 10! Guys, it's not that many more weeks left. Week 10, 11, 12, 13. And then 14. Then 15, 16, and 17 are the playoff weeks. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 5 more weeks. 5 more fantasy weeks to make the playoffs and shake a little something. What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to Flawless Fantasy Football. And we finna do some waivers real quick. We finna do some waivers. We're not gonna take too much time and lollygag and play around. But we gotta, did you guys see? I'm sure you saw. Carson Wentz got signed by the Rams. When I saw that, I'm like, something's wrong with Mr. Stafford. But I like the addition, to be totally honest with you. Wentz can still throw that ball. I don't want to say he's a gunslinger, kind of reckless, but he's actually kind of careful with the ball if you look at his stats. But I like that for the Rams. And I like that for my one share of Puka Nacua. Because, I only got 2 teams, like I said, to anybody that's new, I'm a fantasy football player. I've been around. I played fantasy football in 1995 in Okinawa, Japan, back when I was in the military, and we played in an 8-team touchdown-only league. That's when you only had Mike Allstott, you had Warwick Dunn, Rashawn Shalom, Herman Moore, Carl Pickens, guys like that. Warwick Dunn can rush for 98 yards, he don't score, 0. Mike Allstott can run for 6 yards and a touchdown, he gets the 6. But it was a fun league, but it was a good way to how to get started. My point is, I've been around and I've seen a lot. I've seen it evolve. But I believe that I'm all over the place right now. I believe that Carson Wentz can actually be something for the Rams. All right, based on their personnel and how they do things. So I'm excited for that. I don't know if that they're on a bye, right? Which is good. Thank goodness. Because I'd have benched Puka in my work league. I'd have benched him. Can't trust him with the quarterback. But something's wrong with Stafford. I'm sure that Wentz going to come in and play. So, that's a good pickup for them. Because it just shows they're just not totally trying to just shut it down. All right, so let's see how that works out. But let's get into the quarterbacks, right? First off, we already know, first quarterback I'm talking about is Joshua Dobbs. Y'all already know in Flawless Fantasy Football Listener League, I put out a video prior to week 10, just prior to, which cost me a lineup submission, but we ain't finna talk about that. I believe he's gonna be this year's Justin Fields. He's gonna be this year's Justin Fields. You saw my YouTube short I just put out earlier. He can run. He has the weapons. He's dynamic. He put up 27 points and hadn't even seen haven't even looked at the playbook really good. So just think, man, he's got a very high floor. Very high floor. And considering they ain't in the business of giving Madison nothing, plus he'll run it in. I'm trying to tell you. So if you got some middling freaking quarterback out there, you're playing anybody that's outside of the top 5. And I'm putting Burrow at 5 because he's hot now. He's getting up there. But, you got old boy from Bills. You got old boy from Philly. You got I wouldn't include the Miami dude in there. Chargers, he didn't do well either. Anybody that you consider every week starter, I would play him above them. Look, man, I'm trying to tell you, man, Joshua Dobbs, man, I think he's going to be more consistent than a lot of these guys, too. I think he'll be more consistent than Herbert. I really do. But we'll see what happens. Nobody else is really pushing for him like that. Hell, to be honest with you, I'm going to try to pick up in my work league, too, even though I got, I got old boy from Cincinnati, and I got to do something with the reserved spot because I got old boy from Arizona. I'm just calling out the teams right now because I'm kind of tired. And this right here might not be water, but we'll say it is. But Kyler Murray. But I don't know. I really like Dobbs. I really like Dobbs, man. You need to put him on your team. Because look, when you sit up here and you just let Dobbs pass and somebody else pick him up, it's going to be on you. So I love Joshua Dobbs moving forward. I know they got a bye week coming up, but I love him. Even against New Orleans Saints, I think he's going to do well. I know he'll get 20 points. I know he'll get 20 fantasy points. At least. That's the floor. Next up is Jared Goff. Jared Goff just coming off the bye week, plays against the Chargers. He has weapons. Montgomery will be back to help block and stuff like that. So he'll have more time to throw. He'll throw it to the rookie. He'll throw it to Amon-Ra. He has weapons. He got Laporta. I love Goff moving forward. So Jared Goff, let's make it happen. And Baker Mayfield, if you want to deep dive, he plays against Tennessee. Tennessee's supposed to have been the salve for past quarterbacks and stuff like that. So, and they got a young quarterback that he's out there. He's throwing the rock, moving around. So who knows? Baker Mayfield might find himself. I want to say a shootout because Tennessee's Tennessee, but he might find himself in a where he can throw his automatic 2 touchdowns and 250. All right. So running backs: Joshua Dobbs, Goff, and Baker Mayfield. But just so happen if Kyler Murray is out there, you might want to scoop him up because I think he is off the IR. He's activated. I think he's questionable. You know what I'm saying? So he's probably in line to play. That's the last I've heard. So with the running backs, look, I'm just gonna keep it simple. I'm just gonna go with Keaton Mitchell real quick. But mind you, he snapped. He went 9 for 138. They totally ran the hell over the Seattle Seahawks, Baltimore. But it was a blowout. Everybody ran on him. It's still a three-way timeshare. I want to say timeshare, 3-headed monster between Gus Edwards, Justin Hill, and him. So Justin Hill actually had the most opportunities. So and Gus Bus got all on the short yards touchdown, scored another 2. So are we expecting to see that all the time from Michael Keaton? I keep want to call this dude Michael Keaton. I swear. You know what? He's Michael Keaton. He's Michael Keaton Mitchell. Tired of fighting it. Michael Keaton. So, but if something happened to Gus, it's wheels up for him. I really do. I think it's wheels up for him. But that's all I'm going to talk about with running backs. Because that's the only running back I feel they got upside right now. I'm not going to waste your time saying, oh, yeah, go look at Antonio Gibson or this and that, because he had one little game when he was up, we got 4 or 5 catches. But that don't mean that's indicative moving forward, all right? So let's move to wide receivers. First, we're going to talk about Tank Dell. Tank Dell snapped 6 for 153 and a touch against the Bengals. He gets the Bengals this week, but he snapped against Tampa Bay. Here's the thing is, everybody snapped against Tampa Bay. Everybody snapped against Tampa Bay, even the tight end. All 3 wide receivers and the tight end snap. So Tank Dell back in business. They're playing against Cincinnati this week. So, I see that being an up and down game. I see the quarterback doing well in that game. Get both quarterbacks doing well in that game. I don't think neither of these teams are going to be able to stop each other through the air. So it's going to be nice and high scoring. I love that for my Burrow in my work league. Jahan Dotson, next he went 4 for 61. He only had like 8 targets. Went 4 for 61 in the touchdown versus the Pats. Plays the Seahawks this coming week. Now, mind you, Baltimore did not pass on the Seahawks. They ran on the Seahawks. I don't think that Washington can do that with them. So, to be honest with you, I think Seattle's going to run on Washington, but then again, Washington's still going to throw because that's all they have. But I like the Jahan Dotson moving forward. With Curtis Samuel laying it down, I just think they're going to really start ramping him up nicely. So Jahan Dotson's next. Next up is Noah Brown. Look, if you want to take a stab out here, he was the most, most productive wide receiver out there. Pardon me, because I probably got his Tank Dell and Noah Brown stats back and forth. But Noah Brown snapped nicely, but do you really want the wide receiver 3? It can happen. It can happen. But do you really want the wide receiver 3 for the Texans? I mean, I don't. But he could land into something. But it's up to you. All depends. I believe it's going to be a throwing back and forth game. It can happen. I think it'll happen for him more so than it'll happen to the tight end. So Noah Brown, he's out there if you want to take a chance. Number 4 is Quentin Johnston. Now, I know I talked about it beforehand, and I picked him up last week in waivers and after the waivers. Look, I know he didn't do much, but nobody hardly did much. You know, on San Diego, on Chargers offense. Nobody did much. Just a mundane type of BS game from what I understand. I'll be honest with you, I didn't watch it, but I watched some highlights and stuff of it, and watched a recap, and heard some things about it. And you know, Chargers just wasn't impressive. It seemed like it was a game that was kind of controlled, but we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that. But at the end of the day, Quentin Johnston is one injury away from being wide receiver one, and they're going to be forced to throw it to him. But anyway, I think this week when they're playing against the Lions, they're going to throw it to him anyway. So I believe that's going to be an up and down game. So this might, if he can't do nothing this week, then I'm kind of like, all right, man, I'm probably up off you. So I'm gonna keep my eyes on him. Now, also again, Demario Pop Douglas, he ended up having like about 8 half-point PPR points. He got like 7 targets, so 7 or so, maybe 8. And he's the de facto number 1 for the Patriots. His first game truly starting, so I expect big things out of him moving forward. So Tank Dell, Jahan Dotson, Noah Brown, and Quentin Johnston and Demario Pop Douglas at your wide receivers. Now, let's go to tight ends. Tight ends, man, I don't know what the hell. Kyle Pitts is an afterthought because Jonnu Smith is the tight end 1 over there. Arthur Smith, man, whatever he got going over there in Atlanta, people hate it because people are like, oh, my B-Sean shares might be. I mean, Bijan had fumbled. From what I understand, Bijan fumbled and he essentially got benched. It's like he thumbs his nose up. Thumbs it up at fantasy players. You're telling me what I got to do with my guy that I'm paying? Arthur Smith's showing you something. She's showing you something. So, hey, Jonnu Smith is over there balling. Jonnu Smith like running touchdowns in. Jonnu Smith. If that ain't poking your nose up at it, that ain't saying it's a big. I want to do the real one, but I don't know how YouTube gonna feel about that. But hey, you know what I mean. Second to middle finger, right there. That's what Arthur Smith is doing to the fantasy community. Number 2, Kate Arden. Kate Arden went 6 for 70 with 2 touchdowns versus Texans. He's playing the Titans this week, so hey, if you need a tight end, hey, he's warming up. He's warming up. Kate Arden. Now these two, Taysom Hill, he's probably already picked up. I know I picked him up a couple weeks ago and I played him in my work league. And actually, what I've decided what I'm gonna do, in my work league, I'm gonna play Jason Ferguson as my tight end and play Taysom Hill. And it's a standard league. And don't look, I didn't make the rules. I'm not the commissioner. But I'm gonna play Ferguson as my tight end and play old boy Taysom as my flex. Yeah. And considering it's a touchdown league, that kind of helps me in that situation. And number 4, Dalton Schultz, man. Dalton Schultz had a game, went 10 for 30 and a touchdown. So Jonnu Smith, Kate Arden, Taysom Hill, and Dalton Schultz. Hey, look, it's your first time watching. If you like content like this, feel free to press like on the video, subscribe to the platform. Look, man, right here I just shoot straight from the hip. I'm not in the business of trying to tell you guys to pick up anybody I wouldn't pick up. I wouldn't pick up any circle like Antonio Gibson. I wouldn't pick up Antonio Gibson and put him in the lineup. Now, mind you, just because he's getting run, that don't mean he's like, I'm not going to pick up anybody that I don't feel like has a ceiling. You got to have a possible ceiling. I want nobody to put nobody, well, he can get you 6.5 points. Man, F that. Nobody wants 6.5 points. You can close your eyes and freaking throw a dart and get 6.5 points. I would never do that. I hear people doing that all the time. Well, this guy get you 6.5, 7 points. What? And a lot of times they be talking PPR. I ain't bashing nobody. Maybe I am. So let's get the defenses real quick. Defense got a few. I don't think I really got 2 defenses really. I got 3. Chicago defense playing against the Panthers. So they playing against the Panthers. I believe that's Thursday night. Chicago should be able to eat on the Panthers. But hell, man, we know how these primetime games go. Thielen will probably come out catching on them and everything. And then Panthers like, who the hell are these guys? And then Chicago will look like the lumber in Chicago. But Chicago looked like a good defense to play against the Panthers. Their quarterback, they picked the wrong quarterback. Panthers picked the wrong quarterback. Yes, they did. They got to live with it. They got to be just like San Fran and understand they picked the wrong quarterback. And unfortunately for them, I don't think they're going to be able to come off of it because they're not going to draft. San Fran got lucky by getting old boy Purdy, but if they hadn't got lucky on him, they'd have been screwed. So yeah, Chicago against Panthers and Cincinnati against Houston. And the reason I say that, even though Houston been scoring, they be just doing their thing, I believe Cincinnati's going to win the game for one. And for two, I mean, Houston just came off a stupid good game, and they can only go down from there. Do that mean they're going to be terrible? No, but they'll be forced to keep up, and that can cause some problems. And for C.J. Stroud. So we'll see what happens. I hope the best one. I hope it's a shootout. I hope it's 40-something to 40-something. And then my parlays will work. I'm only putting parlay. I'm only betting on quarterbacks this week. We'll see how that works. Hey guys, that's the Waiver Wire show for Week 10 for Flawless Fantasy Football. I hope you enjoyed it. Add and drop responsibly. All right. Stay strong, stay diligent, and stay confident. Stay fearless. All right? Hey, listen, at the end of the day, we can't control what they do. We can only just put in our best lineups. All right? But we try to kind of predict who they'll allow to do what. That's how I look at it. Now, who should do? I don't think they're gonna give them that like that. Like, if people gonna pick up, let's say, I hate to say this because then if you go and bite me in the butt, I wouldn't pick up Keaton this week and play him. Wow, I wouldn't play nobody as part of a 3-way monster. He didn't get in there until the game was essentially blown out. It did most of his damage. So sometimes you got to get people and hold him because he was held in one of my leagues in the Flawless Fantasy Football Listener League. He was held and he was dropped. He'll probably get picked back up this week, but probably not by me. But we shall see. Flawless Fantasy Football, where you hear what you need to hear. Not what you want to hear. See you on the next episode, baby. Let's get it.